Hey guys, welcome to my new video. Today it's time for a new crafting tutorial. This is actually my second breastplate video. If you haven't watched the first one yet, check it out right here. Let's get started with Angewomon's booby cups, I guess.
First of all, you need a padded bra which you want to wear underneath your breastplate. I cover one cup with several layers of paper tape. Press all layers down so the stripes stick to each other. Now it's time to draw the basic outline of your bra. I start at the bottom and follow the shape. Pull the tape off and cut the basic pattern with a pair of scissors. Before we start our basic Worbla cups, you need an acrylic ball or another round object in the size of your boobs. I have a B-sized cup. The acrylic ball I'm using has a diameter about 14 centimeters. Use a small amount of Vaseline and cover the whole surface. You can also use wax or silicone spray. This step is really important, otherwise the Worbla sticks to the acrylic ball. If you never worked with thermoplastics before, you should know that Worbla has a smooth side and a rough side. The glue gets activated with heat. You can use a hairdryer, but it's a lot easier with a heat gun. Worbla needs about 80 till 90 degrees to get sticky and flexible. If you don't have a heat gun, you can also heat it up in your baking oven. I cut 2 pieces of Worbla and heat them with my heat gun. I'm using a small baking mat underneath, but you can also use baking paper. Stick the smooth sides to each other and press them down to prevent bubbles in between the layers. Now it's time to put the hot Worbla on top of your acrylic ball. Be careful, Worbla gets really hot sometimes and you can hurt yourself. Stretch the material to cover the whole ball. In my case, these basic cups are optional, but I like to do them to get a stable basis for my cups. I put my basic pattern on top and mark the shape with a pencil. You can reheat the edges cause it's a lot easier to cut hot Worbla. As soon as I cut it the shape, it's time to put it back on top of my acrylic ball till it's cooled down again. Now it's time for my final pattern. I use my paper tape again and draw the shape of my design on top. Your design should always be a bit bigger than your basic cup, so it covers your bra completely and you get some nice edges. The good thing about paper tape, you can easily correct mistakes with a rubber. After I separated my pattern with a pair of scissors, I transferred all parts on 5 mm thick high-density foam. You can cut all parts with a cutter knife afterwards. Always start at the outer edge and do one movement to get a sharp edge. Just remember, you need every part twice for both sides. Afterwards, I like to use one of my favorite tools to sand the edges. My Dremel with a medium sanding tip. This step takes some time. You should wear safety glasses and a protection mask during the step. Move the Dremel up and down without pressure to get a smooth result. After I sanded all the edges, it's time to cover my foam parts in Worbla. I like to use black Worbla instead of Worbla's finest art, because the surface is much smoother. So, once again, heat up 2 pieces of Worbla. You can use a wooden clay tool to connect both sides. Worbla rips pretty easily if you use too much pressure, so don't rush this step. For the detailed parts like this little snail, it's easier to add some water on top. Then I just remove the excess material with a pair of scissors. Make sure that you don't cut too close, otherwise your Worbla sandwich might open. Then I put the heated pieces on top of my basic cups and use some pressure to connect everything. You should always heat both parts to connect them and get a long-lasting stick. Once again, I like to do this step on top of my acrylic ball so everything stays in shape. If your Worbla gets some bubbles during the heating process, you can use a thin needle to remove them. I attach all parts till my whole basic cup is covered. As you see, I'm using my wooden tool set again to connect all foam parts. As soon as everything is cooled down again, we can start with our paint job. But first of all, it's always good to add some spray primer. You can also use wood glue or gesso to smooth the surface of your Worbla. Let it dry for a couple of hours. Black Worbla doesn't need as many layers as Worbla's finest art. 2 layers of spray paint are fine. You can sand the surface with a fine sandpaper afterwards. For my final paint job, I like to use regular acrylic paint from a local art shop. Make sure your colors are high pigmented, otherwise you need more layers to get a solid look. Some people like to do the shadings first and start with the darkest color. I do it the opposite way and start with the golden base paint. I did 3 layers in total for my basic coat. Now it's time for some shadows. I start with a small brush and add some black acrylics. Afterwards I like to blend the wet paint with a dry brush to get some smooth shades. You should always add some clear spray paint after your paint job is done. This makes your colors last so much longer and gives your pieces a nice shiny surface. We are done, but wait! You might want to know how to attach those caps. Of course, you can just glue them on top of your bra, but I like to add magnets instead, so I can wear my bodysuit in between. I am using 2 components epoxy glue to add 4 magnets on each cup. You should secure the magnets with duct tape so they stay in place until the glue is fully hardened. Now you just need to repeat the step on your bra. So I'm adding 4 magnets on each side again. Make sure you glued all the magnets in the right direction, so they stick to each other afterwards. So here it is, our final booby cup bra. You can use this tutorial for various characters like Dark Valkyrie Diana from League of Legends or Ariel's mermaid bra.
If you are interested in more Angewomon progress, I definitely do more tutorials for this costume. It's just a matter of time. So thank you guys for watching, hit that subscribe button if you like my videos. I see you next time.